Let us study the poem Rajia the Tigress, written by K.K.N. Daruwala. And who was K.K.N. Daruwala? K.K.N. Daruwala, the full name of K.K.N. Daruwala was K.K. Nasir Wanji Daruwala. He was born in Lahore, which is now in Pakistan, in the year 1937. He is an Indian Parsi poet and short story writer in English language. He is also a former IPS officer. He was awarded Sahitya Academy Award in the year 1944 for his poetry collection The Keeper of the Dead by Sahitya Academy, India's National Academy of Letters. KK Daruwala was also shortlisted in the year 2010 for the Commonwealth Fiction Prize for UK and Asia for his historical novel For Paper and the Christ. He received Commonwealth Poetry Prize in Asia in the year 1987. He was also awarded Padma Shri Award, the fourth highest civilian award in India, in 2014. Daruwala is currently he is the president of the Poetry Society of India and he is living in Delhi right now. About this poem, Rajia the Tigress, gives us a message that man is killing wildlife and animals are our friends. We should not kill them. We should save the forest. This is very beautiful poem. Now about the poem. The poem consists of 8 stanzas, each of them having the 4 lines each. Hence, the poem consists of 32 lines in total. And the setting of the poem is forest where Rajia lives with her cubs. Her husband Sheru has also lived there before. He was killed or he was disappeared from that place. Many animals have been shown in this forest. Deer and hyena are commonly seen. There are thick bushes and stuffs in the forest. The very big danger in the is the attack of the hunters. That is why it is unsafe for little cubs, especially as the ones Rajia has. Let us start the poem. Rajia the Tigress. So first stanza of the poem is the Tigress Rajia lives alone. Her two cubs have not been named. Sheru barely played with them and now he is gone. Oh, what a shame. So in this stanza the poet describes a family of tigers. The mother is called Rajia and the father is called Sheru. They have two cubs but the cubs have not yet been given any names. In just such a short time after the cub's birth, Sheru has died or left his family behind. He has never even played with his children. Now, second stanza. Sheru was an expert on winds, knew how they traversed dale and hill, and where they put up for the night when no leaf stirred and all was still. So, in the second stanza, we come to know that Sheru was expert of winds. He has a good knowledge of their direction and movements. Uh, Wind blows, how he was knowing that wind blows from hills and traveled across valleys to reach the forest. He was knowing this. Where Sheru lived with his family, Sheru even know that the winds had not disappeared when at night the leaves on the trees stopped rustling and no sound could be heard anywhere in the forest. He was well known with the have the full information about the direction of the winds. Now the third stanza. So, third stanza, he knew their winds, their traffic lanes, he knew the deer would smell him out if they were downwind, so he went would belly crawl and crouch. In third stanza, the poet describes how crafty Sheru was. Sheru knew that if his body smell was picked up by the wind, then the body smell would be carried cleanly to the deer that he was trying to hunt. In that case, the deer would avoid walking in the direction in which Sheru was. To avoid such a circumstance, Sheru would crouch down and crawl with his belly touching the ground so that his body smell would not be picked up by the wind. Now the fourth stanza, and take a long circular route hiding behind bush and shrub. Once he knew his scent wouldn't carry, in a flash he would erupt. Now, in this stanza, the poet describes how Sheru used to hunt his prey. Sheru used to walk in the circles to throw off his body smell, and then he would hide behind the thick bushes and tall shrubs in the forest so that he remained out of sight and so that threat of imminent attack on them would not be detected by the deer. Once he was sure that the deer had not picked up his body smell, he would suddenly jump out the bushes and attack them so fast that they would not even know who it is that had attacked them before any they were mauled and killed. Now the fifth stanza. Deer had not sniffed that thick and musty smell of his, which people dubbed as tiger scent. He got the stag. His claws felt like a giant club. Now, in the fifth stanza, the poet describes how Sheru's body smell was musty and strong, and how it was the perfect example of what was known as tiger scent. However, the deer had not managed to pick up tiger scent. As a result, Sheru was able to hunt a stag that would fill the bellies of his family's members. When Sheru was hunting the stag, his claws fell on the body of the stag in the same manner as huge club with which you could easily beat any animal to death. Now, the sixth stanza, on neck and antler both were crushed. Now, Sheru has gone, not anymore. Do people fear his dreaded spoor, pug marked on the forest floor? Now, in this stanza, the poet describes the way uh, Rajia reacts Sheru's sorry the poet describes the way in which both the neck and antlers of stag that Sheru had killed were crushed under the weight of Sheru's claw. However, then he suddenly remembers that Sheru is now gone. No one is afraid of his scent anymore because they know that the scent and his consequent threat of danger and death are no longer present. Sheru does not leave his footprints on the ground in the forest anymore. Now, seventh stanza. Grief and fear start competing in Rajia's herds with Sheru gone. Will the hyenas would hound her cub? Can she leave the little ones alone? Now, in this stanza, the poet describes the Rajia's fear and how Rajia reacts to Sheru's death with both grief and fear. Both the grief and fear that she experiences are in such a large amount that it is impossible to tell whose amount is more. It is as if they are competing with each other for dominance over Rajia's temperament. Rajia worries about whether hyenas will chase her cubs around and family manage to catch and carry off one of them off. When she goes now, last stanza, when she goes hunting flesh and bone, the tigress Rajia lives in fear. A greater dread will again the poachers with their guns appear. In this stanza, the poet describes the dangerous situation that Rajia has to face now. Being the mother of the family, Rajia has to go out alone in order to hunt prey and provide food for her cubs. However, she is always afraid about whether it is safe to leave her children behind her at some such times, since they are too young to defend themselves alone if there some danger is there. However, the thing that Rajia fears the most is the appearance of the hunters. Hunters may kill her cubs in the same way that they have killed her husband Sheru. So let us summarize this poem in a quick manner. Rajia, the tigress, lived in a forest. She has two cubs. Her male companion Sheru left her shortly after birth of the cubs. Rajia was very sad now. As long as Sheru was there, she had no worry. He did all the hunting for Rajia and her cubs. But now she could not leave the cubs alone. She feared that the wild and hyenas would kill her cubs. She was afraid of the poachers who could come anytime with their guns and kill her and her cubs. So that's all about the Rajya the Tigress. Thanks.